Hi, welcome to Pico Playtime, the video series where I play through some cool Pico 8 games to show to you lovely people. Today's game is called Flipknight and it's by the developer called Steed. Yes, it's a platform game. Now, it's been described by others as a Metroidvania, but at this point, what even is a Metroidvania? The game has, it's an open world kind of feel, there's a lot of exploration. It looks kind of like Metroid. Does that make it Metroid? I don't know. You've got one giant level in the game, which is common in a lot of Pico 8 games. You don't really unlock new abilities like you would in a standard Metroidvania, so I don't really see that comparison. The closest comparison, I've spent a lot of time so far saying what the game is not. What the game is very similar to, now I don't know how you pronounce this. Is it VVVVVV? V6? That game. There's a gravity flipping mechanic. Yeah, it's like that. So you start off, this is the start, believe it or not. There's no title screen or anything. It's all done kind of in-game. Very interesting. So whilst you can bask in the glory of the first screen, I'm going to crack open a can of energy drink. Yes, I'm back on the energy drink, everyone. It's another kind of monster. This is Monster Mule, which it goes to some lengths to point out is non-alcoholic. So this isn't a Moscow Mule, it's just a mule. And it's got a little paragraph of text. So let's quickly read that. 3 people walk into a Hollywood bar, a Russian vodka distributor, a copper mug salesperson, and a ginger beer home brewer. We've all been there. This is like the beginning of a joke, isn't it? Urban legend has it that the Moscow Mule was invented. So, urban legend, did this actually happen or not? I don't know. They grabbed an instant camera and took their idea to other bars, snapping pics of the novel cocktail to share with their next barkeep, creating a viral sensation long before social media. I didn't know there was an interesting story behind the Moscow Mule. I guess we're all learning things today. Raising a glass to these innovators, or a can. Our non-alcoholic Monster Mule is crafted with a spicy and sweet ginger mule kick and a zesty lime finish. We stirred in our Monster Energy blend to get you moving. So it's just like a drink, and then they just pour in the Monster Energy blend. That's caffeine. So share one with a friend or just drink it all to yourself on your own, which is what I'm going to do. So this is basically ginger beer. Yeah, that's ginger beer. It's nice. Ginger beer is nice, isn't it? Anyway, let's get cracking with this game then. So, I'm on the first screen, the first part of the game. What do I do? Well, if you move around with the arrow keys, break out of the egg thing. Now there is Steed posted a kind of, we called it a tweet log whilst he was developing this game. It's quite fun if you want to sort of see how a game is developed and how it kind of evolves. There's lots of kind of GIFs or videos of the game in its prototypes kind of playing. It's really cool to see that. But yeah, you break out of an egg. It's kind of like that. Isn't there a Chinese mythology story that has that? I don't know. Anyway, let's get moving around. So this is a platform game. You can move and you can jump. I don't think there's any music in this game. There's very little in terms of sound effects and things. It's very minimal. But as you can see, there's a very evocative art style there. The platforms and all the kind of the world looks really cool. I love all these kind of strange abstract shapes in the background. Really makes you want to kind of explore the world, which is good, because this is an exploration-based platform game. I'm not going to call it a Metroidvania, because what is that? Anyway, you've also got these strange markings on the walls, which looks kind of like hieroglyphics. Now, I think they actually serve a purpose. They seem to control the movement of the enemies. So you can see this little red fellow here. He gets to the edge of the platform, and then he turns around. And it's those markings that seem to do that. So that's a really kind of cool way of designing the game. Pico 8 has a... Well, I'll tell you what, before I do kind of go into it, Pico 8 has a the built-in map editor lets you draw sprites onto the map, and you can plan out your levels in the map editor. And one common way that people make levels for platform games and such, enemies will actually be stored on the map as kind of tiles, and then when you actually load the game, those tiles are then converted into enemies that move around. So yeah, having these little kind of like repeat blocks or something, kind of reminds me of those when you got the ability in Lemmings that let you send your lemmings back the other way. It's kind of like that, isn't it? Anyway, I just thought that was pretty cool, nice little detail. Anyway, up there we have our sword. So this is our power-up. This is our one power-up that we get in the game. Like I say, how is this a Metroidvania? There's just one power-up. Surely Metroidvania ought to have several power-ups that you kind of unlock as you play through the game. This game doesn't do that. It's very, like I said at the beginning, it's very much closer to kind of VVVVV or V6, however it's pronounced. Yeah, this lets us do this kind of interesting gravity-defying dive, so we can switch the gravity to get around. Unfortunately, we can't get back to this opening area. I don't think you can anyway. We have to go deeper into the game. So, it introduces to you, if you've already played V6, I should say, this game will be instantly familiar to you. If you haven't played it, then yeah, the game does a good job of introducing the gravity flipping mechanic. Obviously, if I hit the spikes, I have to respawn. So you need to flip the gravity to get around. And when you do flip the gravity, you can see the sword kind of sticks out. You can attack enemies that way as well, which I don't think you could do in V6. So yeah, it's got some good gameplay in this. The way that the game develops, so these green blocks, we can kind of bust through those with our diving sword attack, and a little bit further in, we'll also start to see blocks that flip the gravity of enemies and some other blocks in the game. So the whole game is based around kind of gravity flipping, and the way the levels are constructed, very clever. This, you kind of end up revisiting, I think, nearly all of the kind of main areas of the game. Well, there's definitely quite a few areas that you have to kind of go through with gravity flipped one way, and then flick a switch to change gravity, and then go back the other way, and different parts are made accessible depending on if you destroy blocks and things. So a typical problem will be some movable blocks that are blocked by these green blocks. You can see here, actually, this is a good example. Those blue blocks with the arrows in, we can move those by flipping the gravity. So often there'll be blocks that are kind of jammed up with these green blocks that we can smash. So we smash the blocks, flip the gravity, and that'll be in a different part of the level, go back, and then we can kind of carry on. All the enemies respawn each time we go to a new area. Some of the areas are kind of single screen, other ones like this scroll across. So that gives it a kind of nice 8-bit platformer feel, doesn't it? And yeah, I think soon we'll be coming up to our first gravity flip area. So you can see here, these blocks that are going to move when we change the gravity. That's blocking my way to the left at the moment, so I need to find the switch to change that. And yeah, you really have to, it does take a little bit of getting used to the gravity flipping. I mean, I've obviously played V6 and I still find it pretty confusing. Can I even go this way? A big part of the game is kind of routing your way through the game. I'm sure there'll be a speed run of this where somebody can complete it in about 3 minutes, but on your first playthrough, and this is my kind of second or third playthrough now, yeah, I'm still trying to find my way. See, I've gone back around again, so let's go back where we came, if we're able to. You notice those platforms. Oh, we have been here before. So you can go back to the beginning, right? Oops. So I need to find that gravity button, don't I? Let's see if I can do that. There isn't any any lives in the game. It just respawns you, and there isn't a timer element either. So at the end of the game, I was expecting to see a timer saying it took you far too long to complete this game. Doesn't seem to be. So you can just take things nice and easy and just enjoy it. So yeah, gameplay wise, really cool, really good, really nice to see the kind of V6 gravity mechanic, you know, put to use in another game, because it was really made that game stand out. I really do hope it's V6. I think it's that. You see, I'm doubting myself now. Are there 6 Vs? There could be 5. I don't know. I haven't counted them recently. So you can see there, if you die at the end of a big area, you go back to the beginning, all the enemies get respawned. Further into the game, there are some particularly fiendish areas patrolled by the different enemies. So yeah, the different enemies, I think there are kind of a handful, 3 or 4, maybe more, different enemies. There are these, at the bottom of the screen now, you've got these kind of red, I don't know, they kind of look like ninjas to me. They just kind of move side to side. Those purple blocks you can see, they obviously show you where they're going to move. The one that's kind of stuck to the ceiling, those ones you can only attack from one direction. So depending on which way the gravity's set, those can be a bit of a problem. There are other ones that we get later on as well, which I think if they're one way up, they don't move, and then obviously they do move the other way up, that kind of thing. So, I'm not doing very well at all. So yeah, it's got a few nicely chosen kind of elements. You've got a handful of different enemies, and it's there we go. Right, I'll just leave those 2 now. Yeah, there's a handful of different types of enemies. Oh, we do go back to the beginning then. Huh. Great. Yeah, handful of different types of enemies, and it means that there's a lot of really good level design, basically. Good level design in games like this, you want to be getting every kind of ounce of kind of puzzle and challenge out of the few things that Pico 8 lets you put in. There we've got the gravity switch. So all those blocks now have zoomed to the top. We've kind of flipped the gravity. So now, if I go back through this area, if I go back through this area, that block that I had to stop at before should have moved. Now, I assume this is the way I'm meant to go. Like I said, a big part of this game is the kind of routing of it, and you are going to spend a lot of time kind of backtracking, trying to work out where you went wrong and trying to work out where you're supposed to go. That's good. It's good having to figure things out in some of these games. Often with Pico 8, because of the size of Pico 8 games, they are kept very small by the deliberate limitations of the console. Often you find that games are quite simplistic. There won't necessarily be a lot of playtime involved. I didn't time myself on my first playthrough, but you can get a decent amount of you can easily get a good hour out of working your way around this world. Oh, this is an area that's definitely inspired by V6. We've got a big falling spike section, and yeah, good luck doing this on your first attempt. You come back to this area a lot, and yeah, I'm still hitting things. We have to kind of, oh, and it also loops kind of, there's like a infinite loop thing going on there as well. Yeah, we have to kind of bash those green blocks which you see me there, and now we've got access to a new area, so we're doing well. We've got kind of spikes and things there as well. Anything that touches us doesn't do us any favors. So here we go. This is one of our first kind of big puzzles in the game, or kind of not really a puzzle. I know what I have to do. It's the doing it which is the hard part. So we've got blocks that move with the gravity, but then we've also got those green blocks, and at the moment we need to get rid of the green block basically, so that when we've got the gravity set a certain way, we'll be able to get through to the right hand side. At the moment I'm not able to do any of that because The gravity's the wrong way around. So this is the loop that you kind of get into in the game, which is flipping the gravity and then going back to some area you've already visited, knocking out some green blocks, and then going back and trying to flip the gravity back. But that's not as easy as it sounds, because I can't just go back to that block. I have to find the opposite block to put the gravity the other way. So this is where the exploration, this is where the backtracking comes in. This is, I think, where people kind of make the Metroid kind of distinction. But like I've already said, I don't think just having a little bit of, I don't think having just a big open world is enough to say that this is a Metroid game. I've just realised, I think the idea of these, I think the idea of these enemies is that these enemies can kind of fly. We do get enemies later on which we can't attack. They have kind of spikes on top of them. So now I need to work out, where is the next gravity thing? Yeah, at first I really didn't work out what those purple kind of glyphs are on the walls, but now once you realise that, oh, that tells you where the enemies go, it's really cool. It makes the level feel kind of like you're in a, I don't know, like a machine or something, or like it's some kind of, I don't know, where is this? What is this level? I do love the pixel art. Right, here we go. So we flipped things again. Now, I don't think we can go back this way. I think we went through one of those one-way platforms, so probably going this way is probably best. I don't think I've been here yet. Oh, here we go. So, right, if I go back here, yeah, now you can see. So, because we got rid of those other green blocks, we've gained access now to the next part. Now the thing is, if we flip the gravity the other way, this area will still be blocked off, because those 4 blocks above me now, they'll fall down. So let's see where this goes anyway. Don't think I've been here yet. Don't think. Oh yes, I have. It looks different though. I suppose it's the gravity that's changed. So let's see, where do I go next? You really need to spend some time with this game. I think I've covered most of what makes the game kind of special. I really love the presentation, the gameplay. There's just enough little parts in the gameplay, enough little different ideas in there to make it feel kind of like a rich experience. From making my own games, you kind of have this, you can keep adding features to a game, and then you get to this point where you get a kind of critical mass of things in the game where it really starts to kind of take a life of its own. And we've got this in this game. We've got the gravity flipping, we've got the few different types of enemies that all behave a little bit differently, a few different blocks, which then means that we can have kind of interesting levels and some interesting puzzles. So yeah, Flipknight then by Steed. It's a great game on Pico 8. I'm not going to attempt to try and play all the way through this game and still have it be a 20-minute video. So I think I've kind of gone through everything I want to say about it, really. It's definitely worth a play. You can play it on, I'm playing it on Splore, where it's been featured. I've also put a link, as usual, to oh dear. I've also put a link to the itch page, where you can play it. You might even be able to download it as well. But yeah, give this game a look. It's a lot of fun. Very simple idea, executed really well, and just really good levels of presentation and kind of polish, which is something I always try and go for in these Pico 8 videos that I do. Anyway, I'm going to have some more of this Monster Mule. It's just ginger beer. It's ginger beer in a massive can, and presumably with lots of caffeine and inositol, and I just realised it's covered in bullets as well. Anyway, let's finish things off then. So, check out this game on itch or on Splore. You want to check out the developer as well, Steed. There's quite a few other games that he's made on itch, which are worthy of your attention, very much so. Give them a follow on Twitter and whatnot. And yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I suppose I'll be seeing you again really soon, eh? Let's have some more of this. Lovely. See you later.